One of those things I try to wrap my head around, successfully or unsuccessfully, is the idea of sea level rise. So Jordan and I are recording this in August 2017. About a month ago, a huge iceberg broke off the Larsen C ice shelf in Antarctica. Huge, in this case, means about 1 trillion tons, 5,800 square kilometers. And that iceberg won't add anything to sea level rise, but the risk is that it's been holding back all of this land ice, which is uphill from it, and that land ice is now free to slide into the sea. And that could start to happen any minute now. It could happen in 10 years or 20 years or 50 years or maybe never. But the second that ice hits the water, within days or weeks, the oceans around the world will rise in consequence. Living in a world facing kind of imminent sea level rise reminds me a lot of the story of Damocles, the Roman version of a Greek myth. Damocles is a hanger-on in the court of Dionysius II, and the tyrant Dionysius II is tired of Damocles fawning over him, so he allows Damocles to enjoy all the luxury and privilege of a beautiful banquet. But the whole time there is a sword hanging from the ceiling right above Damocles' head, pointed straight down, tied with a single hair from a horse's tail. And the moral of the story is that it's not the luxury of the banquet or the wealth of the guests that matters, but the strength of the string. And what I struggle with a little, though, is what happens when the seas start rising? What happens when we lose the coastline and all the coastal cities around the world start to flood, the waves wash in and they don't wash out again? But of course, it's not the first time it's happened. It's not even the first time in the recent past. About 18,000 years ago, after the worst or coldest of the last ice age, conditions turned around, started to get warmer. More monsoons, different vegetation, rising seas. The oceans rose for about 13,000 years at the rate of 1 centimeter a year. But of course, it wasn't a smooth rise. It rose in fits and starts. There would have been whole generations where the seas stayed level, and then there would have been spurts where suddenly it would rise by 2 or 3 meters in the space of a year. Now, in an area where the coastline is high hills, somewhere like this, that 2 or 3 meters wouldn't mean much. But in flat parts of the country, where there's coastal plains, that means the sea is suddenly...
They say it's raining in Quezon City, but that's all right. We've run amok elsewhere. The gutters fill up and the rats come out, and naked brown babies stand grinning, glistening, knee-deep. Cheap commemorative coins float placidly by, the vendors hawking phone credits, smoking their lucky cigarettes, wearing their favorite caps, like everything is going according to plan. And all of this was basically expected. Now, they haven't television, but they've got a nose for these things. Whispers behind the high, white walls, talking about rain in Quezon City. Too much rain, and the trickle-down effect. Rotating neon signs are swallowed. The late-night shift workers on high-rise construction sites, their faces blown out white with concrete dust, dangle their feet off the unfinished 4th floor, dipping their bunions in the rising tide. The coastlines vanish. Christmas decorations and Pinoy reindeer, Coca-Cola Santa Clauses collecting in whirlpool wastelands, washed-up winter wonderlands, crossing currents with tsunamis of fake designer handbags, pastel polo shirts with athletic animal emblems, where the stitching's quite efficient, but it's not quite right. Cigarettes, sunglasses, ukuleles, rebranded Viagra, the veiny hands of weathered vendors clutching their wares until the end, wooden Spanish furniture sinks and rots, the color of coral, and schools of tropical fish now explore the KTV clubs, the bed-sits, hostels, hotels, historically significant prison cells. Starfish cling to the motorbikes we hired, engines are all flooded up in Quezon City. Then there's continental calm. December sun catching snatches of krill, bamboo doors to bar and grills waving in slow motion as the sand settles on the silent streets. It's the little things. Now we can go scuba diving in subaquatic shopping malls, live on mountaintops, dance with witch doctors, breathe in the air where the air is fresh and the air is clear. Who would have thought we'd be swapping our condos for a cozy volcano? The night that it rained in Quezon City, let's say the levees broke. And planes were landing in swimming pools, and our favorite cafes became fluorescent aquariums, blueberry cheesecakes, cappuccinos, and plastic cutlery colliding in the anti-gravity. And that's why I didn't take your hand, or learn to live off the land, speaking and singing in Byzantine languages. Because they said that there was rain in Quezon City, so that was that. We'd have to run amok elsewhere.